SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first, then you act.
Arizona State stuff, I thought, first of all, I thought we handled the trip very well. Handled the time change, handled the weather. Didn't have any problems with that. I thought we played with a lot of energy. Obviously, we expected a tough game, expected a tight game, and got one. Really, as we went through it. And, I talked a little bit about the different situations, that we got to get better at, things of that nature, on I guess, Saturday night. But obviously not scoring in the goal line area, the red zone. Third down hurt us a little bit. Thought we played pretty well on defense. Didn't have a touchdown scored against us throughout 3/4 of the game, and then we gave up one late. But let the football team hang around. Instead of being 20-3 or something like that, it's 13-3. Inevitably somebody's going to make a play. I think a little bit of that happened. I need to play better in certain situations. I think our football team right now is, it's a tough deal. We gathered ourselves on the way home. Very proud of our team and how they handle things. Leadership is intact. Met yesterday, reviewed the film, etc. Plays good. Got to stay resilient. And I think, when you have these type of situations, and we've been in them before, I think you go one direction. Either people get pulled apart or people get brought together. And it's my feeling that things like this forges, if you're working together, things like this forge unity, forges solidarity, perseverance, and probably the most important thing, it forges action, which we need to take action. So we'll sit a week. Coaches will be out recruiting this week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll work today and Thursday, and probably Friday or maybe Saturday, depending on which, and then get back at it next week. Play IU game tomorrow. Next Saturday, week from Saturday at 7:30 at night. So we'll look forward to that challenge as well. So I'll just take some questions and we'll probably go from there. Thanks.
Coach, I asked you a week ago about protections, picking on blitzes, blocking schemes, that sort of thing. And it seemed like there were a lot of problems, issues, communication, assignments, etc. against Arizona State. What did you notice? What needs to change between now and when you take the field against Indiana a week from Saturday?
Well, we got pressure. I think we got pressure. We only were sacked twice, and that was at the end of the game. I think in both cases scenario, we could have avoided the sack. The ball could have been thrown. So that's number one. But we did get pressure throughout the entire game. And they bring, as I said on Saturday night, they bring a lot of different pressures from different places. Everybody does. They have a number of people up there. They're giving up some different things in coverage when they do that. But they're dropping, especially Arizona State, they're dropping defensive linemen out of there. So they're creating a situation where defensive lineman may rush, but then he doesn't, and he drops, and then they bring other linebackers. And those are tough scenarios. And what has to happen is we have to pick those up. We have pass protections in place. We need to be more firm at the point of protection. We can't get overextended. When you have games like this, you can point to so many little different things, whether it's a spot, a missed spot, by where the ball was placed after a play, or whether it was a missed leverage, whether it's if we're ahead 6-0 and it's 3rd and 20 and the quarterback scrambles for 15 instead of 6, that's the difference in a 49-yard field goal and a punt. And so it's things like that you go back and look at, and it frustrates you. Obviously 3rd and 8 at the end of the game, where they're in a position to go down and possibly score. 3rd and 8, we have an uncovered guy going to the flat. They pick us a little bit. We have a coverage blow, and then on top of that, we have another situation where safety turns on number 1, which is, it's not supposed to do that. But it's the inches. So it's the little things that you look at that actually culminate to being very big things in a tight game, and this game got tight. There's no other way to say it. It just got tight. So obviously, we don't want it to be like that. You want to get out in front 21, 24. You got 28 points of opportunities in the red zone. You come away with 13. You know, so that is frustrating. But there are reasons behind that. Some of them are physical, some of them are mental, some of them are coaching errors. So the main thing that I want to make sure is that people understand, our people, the people in the tent, understand that this is all of our issues. It's not one particular group. And again, you know, you got quarterback decisions, you got offensive line play, you have running backs, pass protecting. I know on the last one that he was sacked, it caused the fumble. The running back missed the blitzing linebacker, and that was the issue that forced the pressure. So it's not always the offensive line. Or somebody maybe covered down the field and you got to hold the football. So it's not always the quarterback or the running back or whatever. So there's a lot that goes into this, and that's why, you know, football becomes such a complicated game, and people talk about it all the time with all the answers. Of course, we got all the answers. Next question.
Mark, your favorite question, the injury site things. With Jake in particular, how would he come out?
Yeah, you know, and I've always said that, you know, if a guy's out, you know, for a while, I'm gonna talk about him. So Jake is out for 6 to 8 weeks. You know, he's got a bone bruise or maybe a slight fracture in there. Excuse me. So we're gonna miss him. Rocky Lombardi will be the punter. Maybe Tyler Hunt. But we'll go on. You know, Rocky, a great athlete, and he's punted before. He was our backup punter. William Prissup is a guy who's a walk-on from Florida, and he's been impressive at times, so we'll see how he works out. And hey, somebody may walk out there fresh, who knows. But Rocky has the ability. You know, he needs to wear the right shoe and take the brace off and, you know, work it a little bit, but he's an outstanding athlete, and I feel comfortable that with the quarterback back there, we'll have a guy back there that understands pressure.
And with LJ and David Beagle, are they anything long-term with them, and was Tyreek Thompson an injury situation?
I don't think that, I do not think that those are long-term issues with the 2 injuries with Beagle and anybody else. That, you know, I don't anticipate there to be long-term issues. As far as with Tyreek, no, we left him at home because he got into a situation, and I felt like it was warranted that we leave him at home. So he rejoined the team yesterday.
Mark, you had a couple new starters, Brandon Randall and Beasley. Can you talk about how they performed, and also what it did to the defensive end rotation to be down a man, and what that looked like on the field?
Yeah, first of all, I thought Brandon Randall, you know, continues to get better, played a lot more plays. He's very instinctive at times, shows a great athletic ability. And then at other times, he needs to be a better pass rusher in one-on-one situations because he has that type of ability. But I thought he took a big step forward. I think he's going to continue to be a good player for us. He's a young player, and so with young players, you know, you see a big learning curve as they go. But I thought he played hard. He was athletic and made some plays out there. As far as our defensive ends, I thought Jack Camper played a lot, played well. Drew Beasley as well. You know, they only get 30 yards of you know, running game production, so, you know, played well against the run. You know, we need to continue to work the pass rush aspects of it, but, you know, they kept us off base when we brought pressure. You know, they either blocked pressure or got the ball out. They tested us deep quite often. I thought we played the deep ball very well, with the exception of probably 2 plays. One was an interference at the end of the game, and one was a great catch by the wide receiver for their only touchdown. So, but it's challenging.
Mark, I know Ladarius Jefferson got some action, and I got some Bridges also, obviously, with LJ out. I know what you saw from those 2 guys. I know not a lot of opportunities for either, but did you like what you saw of them, even though the
Weston and Ladarius? Yeah, I thought that, first of all, I thought Weston got in there. I felt like he was the first guy in. He didn't get an opportunity to run the football. We put Ladarius in there because he sort of suited what we were running a little bit. I thought he had a couple big plays, or nice plays in there, you know, first down run, and then a great job by Brian on the option, and pitches it out to him, he gets the first down. Both those guys are young players, and both those guys are talented players, and depending on injury issues, you know, we'll see how it all works out, how the reps will continue. But and certainly right now in practice here, we're going to find out a little bit more about that.
Mark, from just maybe the trip standpoint, the travel, health, everything, do you think the bye week comes at an ideal time for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you always just sort of take it as it comes. I think really the biggest thing on the trip was the time change, and, you know, takes it out of you a little bit, especially coming back. So, you know, we got back about, you know, 8:45, I think, in the morning, Sunday morning. I think, you know, we were very well represented out there. I want to thank all the Spartans for coming out to Arizona State, West Coast, and Arizona, and people from back here. We had a tremendous showing, somewhere between 15 and 20, and I heard 1,000. And then all the people that stayed up until 2:40 to watch. So it was a late game. You know, we had to flip our physical clocks. We had to wear the compression tights, a 4-hour plane flight, and, you know, hydrate for 24 to 30 hours. And I was pushing water like you can't believe in Gatorade. And then, you know, the weather, it was 104 temperature at game time. So, I mean, you know, there's a lot of things that we needed to control. I thought we did that. I thought we had energy on the field. I thought we came to play. I've always said at the end of it all, if our guys play hard and play confident, play with each other and play confident, don't point fingers and play hard, you know, whatever happens, you know, I'll handle it. And so that's what we'll do, I'll handle it. You know, so we'll be ready to play, we'll be fine. Got a lot, all of our games are in front of us, all of our goals are in front of us. As I said earlier to our team yesterday, our focus is, everyone wants to talk about getting in the playoffs or being in the Big Ten championship game or winning a championship. But before you can do any of those things, you have to be in a position in November to compete for a championship. We did that last year. And we've had these type of setbacks in the past where we stumble our feet a little bit coming out the blocks, and we regain ourselves and we played well. And that's what I'm anticipating, and that's what I expect, and that's our players' expectations.
Mark, right here. I saw some buzz on Twitter about Blake Buter getting a scholarship. Is that true, I guess? And if so, what led to that decision? What have you liked about him through these 2 weeks?
Yeah, I have a couple of scholarships, an opportunity to give those, and Blake has been with us for, I think it's been 2 years. This is his second year as a redshirt freshman. He's a tough guy from Lowell. I've known him from Detroit Catholic Central, but he was a wrestler. He reminds me a lot of Connor Cruz, who was from Lowell, who played a lot for us. And he's played the last couple games a little bit in there, and he's done a nice job. And he's been firm, and he's been athletic, and he's battled you. And I think he has a huge upside, and I just thought it was warranted. So yes, that is the case.
And then could you give an evaluation of Tyler Higbee versus Allen at center through 2 weeks, and what your thoughts are there?
Well, you know, we're trying to make Tyler center. I always try and play our best 5. But with that being said, it's difficult sometimes to transition to the center box. You know, and you saw a couple of times what happened to him. Things got disrupted, and when you can't control the center box, if you can't control the nose of the center box, it's difficult to run the ball, especially if you're running things where a guard or somebody's pulling and there's disruption, and you saw that happen. So, you know, I thought Matt played better. He was more firm in there. He's been a center longer. So, you know, we certainly have to try and figure that out as we go, and that's one of the things we figure out in the next couple weeks here. But, you know, it's not from a lack of trying or a lack of will, you know, but he's snapping the ball, and he's probably not stepping, he probably is catching. And when you catch on a nose guard who's in a zero nose, who's come out of his stance, who I think knew the snap count and anticipated it, got off on the ball, you know, things become a little bit more difficult. So we need to vary the snap count in that situation.
Got time for a couple more guys.
Is Ken Manning okay? He looked like he took a really big
shot.
He
took a shot. He took a shot, had to be x-rayed on, you know, during the game, but yeah, he's okay.
And the 3 straight night games open here, I know something's completely out of your control, but is that something that's going to, you know, take a toll, or maybe you have to adjust scheduling or anything like that?
Well, you know, like I said, you know, we're going to line them up and play. I really, there's only certain things you can control, and most of it you cannot. Let's just face it. Okay, whether it's on the field or off the field sometimes, just, you know, in terms of these type of things, you know, having a night game as opposed to a day game. So we're just going to play them when we're supposed to play them and get excited about the opportunity to do that. So here, 3rd straight night game, 2 of our scrimmages in this summer were at night, knowing that we would be experiencing this, so we'll prepare ourselves accordingly.
What you said a moment ago, is that part of the downside of the playoff era we're in, or at least the 4-team playoff era, you lose a game and everyone's going crazy. You lose 2 games and your season's over. Is that unfortunate?
Well, I guess that's the world we're living in. You know, I mean, you know, that's just the world we're living in, I guess. So like I said, you know, I'm going to always focus on, my temperament is focus on what I can control. I wish I could say, hey, you know what, we messed a couple plays up, we're coming back out there Friday night. But that doesn't happen. So, you know, you just got to line up the next opportunity that you get, and it's no different than life. Everybody just points to sports, and you know they want answers. But you know, it's no different than anything you go through in life. You know, you stub your toe, you gotta get back in the ring. You got to do it. You got to get back in there and do what you're supposed to do, and change the results. If you feel sorry for yourself, you know you're going to be chasing bad times. But you get up off the mat and you go. We did that last year. You know, really, if you look at across the board, if you looked at 2013, Notre Dame game, got up and won the next bunch. If you look at 14, Oregon game, High State game, won the rest of them. You know, and even last year, you know, the Notre Dame game. You know, so, you know, you need to understand how to play through a little bit of the pain too. That's all part of this. These are all life experiences that our players get. Some you're going to win, some you're going to lose. I don't want to be philosophical up here because everybody wants you to win. Everybody wants you to be upset if you don't. I can tell you that for the last 48 hours, and today included, I'm watching that film saying, if this or if that or if that. That's the nature of coaching. So we are all very upset about this. But because you feel like one got taken away from us that I thought we were in control of, somewhat control of. Not totally. As well as we played defensively, we only went 3 and out one time out of 11. But we played well enough to shut them out for 3 quarters, other than field goals. But, you know, it got away from us, one side or the other, and you got to deal with it. So I will deal with it.
Wrap it up with Chris right here.
It's actually a 2-part, based on what you had asked before. First, you mentioned about the scholarships. You mentioned about the Blake scholarship and had a couple others. Have you given out any other walk-on scholarships?
Yeah, I gave Ryan Armour a scholarship yesterday as well. And
the second part was going back to the hit on Jake. Did you get an explanation of why no flag was called on that? Was it the penalty, the false start?
Yeah.
And could they have called something on that?
They could have. And I got an explanation. But I don't, you know, I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm going to concern myself with the things that we can control and I can control. And so, but I got a very clear reading on that, yeah.
Did they admit that they goofed up?
I think you should, I don't want to go into that. I don't think it's my business to go into that. That's not my business. I don't ref the games. You know, they're doing the very best they can do. I know that.
Else? Okay.
Good to go? Thanks, guys.
Coach Cole will be up next.